Jeff Van Drew, Congressman from New Jersey, is with us, sir. We appreciate you being here. What do you make of the lack of statements, not only by the White House, but by some members of Congress that don't even mention these hostages? This is something totally different. If there's a country that knows what hostage taking by Iran does, it's the United States. And somehow this very human part, this crisis for these families, is lost in the conversation.
Leland, let me tell you, I mean, it's obviously awful. This is a terrible, awful human situation. There are really no words for it. Women, children, grandmothers, grandfathers. I mean, you know, to have a military confrontation is one thing, but to take innocent hostages who, quite frankly, didn't sign up for this is another thing. But you know what it's from? Weakness. When you have a weak president, and it all goes back to Afghanistan when we left there in the lurch and left all of our equipment, lost some of our men and women. It goes right to giving $6 billion to Iran. You know, we're supposed to have a trade there, a prisoner swap. Well, it's fine to swap prisoners, maybe, but you know what's even worse is you give them $6 billion. No, I don't think they used that particular $6 billion for this, but it just showed how weak we are, and the world was watching. The sanctions were taken off of Iran by this president. They were taken off, and they made billions upon billions of dollars more on their oil because they were taken off. Our borders are open. Our country is in chaos. And guess what? If we think we're totally safe, that's not necessarily true at all, because we have millions of people here. We only know who some of them are. We know that we've already caught over 150 that are on the terror watch list, but there's that many more that are out there in our country. We don't know where they are, who they are. We have people coming over that are getting through the border, and we don't know anything about them. It's awful.
It's interesting you say that, because some of the images we were just showing, this is Ashkelon, where there was another attack today, but the number of the images we were showing were pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian rallies in the United States, of people who came out to support the Palestinians and to celebrate this hostage taking and to celebrate these attacks. 700 Israelis dead and countless fathers like the one you just saw. I hear you in terms of what the reasons that Iran is emboldened. I hear you about the feelings by these Americans. Some are Americans, some obviously have not yet gotten American citizenship. But then I go back to the hope for these families, because Israel, even of itself, doesn't seem to be offering a lot of hope that these hostages are going to be returned alive. And I wonder what you make of the fact that the U.S. president, speaking about one of our great enemies taking hostages from one of our great allies, doesn't say we will hold Iran responsible for this. They won't even mention the word Iran as a perpetrator behind this.
He's frightened of Iran, and he's made deals with them. I mean, they are enriching uranium. What in God's name are they going to do when they have full nuclear weaponry capability? I mean, this is something we need to be concerned about. We all love peace, and we love all being humanity and being human. But there's a time when you must be strong. You know, Ronald Reagan said it well when he said, no country is ever attacked because it's too strong. You know, peace through strength. All these words matter. What people think of the United States and their leaders matters. They knew, quite frankly, when our last president was in office, that if they did something like this, there was going to be one hell of a retribution. I mean, if those American hostages are killed or hurt, God knows what they're going to do to them. But even the Israeli hostages, these are animals that are doing this. And of course, we have people now in the United States. You would have never seen this a number of years ago, but now we have people who are demonstrating in support of what happened. What kind of Americans are those? That is not the definition of being an American or an American citizen. This is where we've come to. We don't close our borders, we're going to have more of
it. Congressman, I hear you, and I also think about those families that especially American families now, who don't necessarily have hope that the cavalry is coming and that the United States will go effect revenge upon those who are putting so many families through a living hell right now. Congressman Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey, thank you very much, sir. Live pictures of Gaza approaching 3 a.m.